do have with us a representative from Dorchester, who I know also is a little squeezed for time right now and would like to say a few words to the folks here, and that's Representative Marty Walsh.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you, Jim. And I'm very happy that Work Incorporated is in my district. It wasn't Quincy; we stole it from Quincy, and I'm happy that about half the service providers in this room live from Dorchester as well. So I want to thank you. I also want to recognize my colleague. He'll probably be talking in a little while. My dear friend and colleague from Hyde Park and Reedville, Angelo Sciascia. It's funny, when you work with somebody, you don't fully understand them unless you sit next to them and get the chance to work with them every day. And Angelo sits to my left. I was lucky enough when I got elected to have Angelo as my seatmate. And you really get a feel for what people, who they are and what their character's like. And Angelo Sciascia, when it comes to human service issues and people, you know, he doesn't always, he's not like me and get myself in trouble all the time. He sits back and he quietly does it behind the scenes. And I don't think there's many state reps whose heart is bigger than Angelo Sciascia. So I just want to thank Angelo for all the work he's done. Also, over here to my right, and it's exciting for me, the Speaker of the House, who couldn't be here today, Maggie from the Speaker's office is here. And I think this is the first time that I can remember being at a meeting in Dorchester with social services that somebody from the Speaker's office was here. So I want to thank you, Maggie, for being here as well. I don't know if anyone else from any other offices here. If you are, you can be recognized, or from the governor. Okay. I just want to make sure. All right. I'll be quick, and I apologize. I'm running down to the Dorchester Youth Academy. I'm talking or teaching a class to some of the kids in the school today. And I think it's important to try and, there's a mentor program here, and it's kind of a mentor class. We're going to be talking about things like that. But I just wrote a few notes down and some things that I've heard. And when Kit Clark speaks, and you talk about the line items that you have, and last year's budget was devastating to me because I got elected 13 years ago. Last year was my 12th budget. Angelo can attest to this. And the Speaker, I think, can attest to this. I would probably have more earmarks in the budget than anyone else in the House of Representatives. And Kit Clark, those earmarks that were talked about were my earmarks. And the first earmark I lost last year in the budget was Kit Clark. And it hurt because I knew exactly what programs were going to be hurt. I knew who the people were. I knew what they did. And that was very difficult for me. Pine Street Inn over here to my left, I lost some money for Pine Street Inn. I lost some money for Volunteers of America. We lost some money for St. Mary's. And I'm not going to go around because I think I've lost money for a lot of people. I better stop talking. I told you to stop talking. And by the way, you can't run against me. The deadline's over. It's not happening. Thank you. But as we look around, when I say we lost money, you know what I'm talking about. And you know the devastation, and we're talking about level funding, and I was talking to Randall earlier today, and we know level funding is a cut, basically. We know that we've been level funding now for so many years, and it wasn't that long ago where a lot of you were in my office talking about how can we expand services, how can we do more for homelessness, how can we do more for substance abuse users, how can we do more for mental health, and we're not having those discussions today, and we're not going to have those discussions probably for a couple of years. But I think it's important, this breakfast is important because as I look around the room, I can't remember a time where all of the human service, or most of the human service providers are in a room at one point. You have meetings in regions, you have meetings with groups that are kind of clicky together, but we've never had a meeting like this, and I think this is important. And I think it's important for a lot of reasons, because the budget's going to come out next Wednesday. And I think it's important for you and for us as a group speak as one voice. Now, everyone has individual relationships with different reps. We all know that, and a lot of you will come into my office. But I think it's important that we speak in a united voice. If the budget's cut more, you need to go up there and we need to make statements. I hate to say that to my colleagues. I love my colleagues, but sometimes we need to send a message. We need to say this, we can't take it anymore. Because I know there are a lot of programs in this room that if you get a 10% cut or a 5% cut, you probably aren't in this room next year to discuss what we're discussing today. So I think that's extremely important for all of you to realize and to continue to work together, because I think this is not a good start, but for me it's a good start to see all of you in the room together. Randall talked about some other issues, and don't be afraid to talk about them, not necessarily now, but we talked about pilots and taxing of pilots in lieu of taxes. And I know that a lot of times we talk about the universities and the colleges, and Harvard's always on the top of the list, and of course they should be because they have all the money. But we have to be very, very careful that when we start talking about payment in lieu of taxes, and when they talk about nonprofits payment in lieu of taxes, there are different nonprofits in this room, and some of you have bigger reserves than others. And the reserves you have doesn't mean it's extra money, it just means that you put money away for the bad day, and the bad day's here. And those reserves have been drawn down. So we need to be able to explain to my colleagues as this discussion happens, in the city of Boston, quite honestly, as the discussion happens, what it means, what the reserve you have, what the reserve is for, and to be very careful once we start trickling down that road, payment in lieu of taxes. I've always been opposed to it because I'm afraid of throwing other groups in there. You know, we talk about Harvard. We talk about Harvard. I'll give you one example. Harvard and BC. Harvard has endowment of all kinds of money, and BC has a pretty decent endowment as well. But BC has a $1 billion master plan that's going to go out to bid. So people that are working on that job are going to be paying income tax, they're going to be buying cars, they're going to be buying houses, they're going to be buying things if they get work on that job. So I think it's very important for us to realize that. And as you go around and talk to the reps that you talk to, kind of put it in the back of their head a little bit. I can't stress to you the importance of what I feel about working together up on Beacon Hill. You have some people in this room today. Maggie will go back to the Speaker's office and talk about some stuff, and when the budget comes up, I'm able to work with Maggie, we're able to work with the Speaker. Angelo and myself, and Angelo and so many other folks, Angelo just gets it done, are able to do different things and try and work to move our agendas forward. The stories that I hear today, they affect me. They affect Angelo. They affect a lot of us as legislators. You need to tell the stories to other people. You need to let us know. I mean, I know, as I look around the room, and I know a lot of the agencies you're associated with, I know what you're going through. When I stand in this building, and ironically I was standing in this building over against the wall, and I was thinking about, what a beautiful building. And if you had somebody come into this building in government, and they look around, well, God, they're doing okay for themselves. You know, they have a nice building, and they have this. They don't understand the work that was put into this building to make this building happen. This just didn't happen. This was a lot of work. I wish we could have used state money, Jim. I wish we had state money to be able to get you money to build the building.
You can always send it if you don't.
If we get, someday we will. But we didn't have it. And, you know, Jim and his team over here scratched and clawed and fought and worked hard to bring this beautiful building here. And I had the opportunity to come into an event here. I feel it was appreciation night. And I walked through this door, and I couldn't help but look at the people, the faces of the people that are being served in this building, in this room, without a care in the world. They didn't worry about it. They were dancing, they were laughing, they were singing, they were playing, they were doing things that were important. And I wish I could have taken all of my colleagues here to see that, to see the work that's done here. And the same for the Joel Timothy Center and some other places. So I just want to let you know that we will do everything we can. I will do everything I can to fight and scratch and claw to make sure that your budgets try not to get affected more. I can't tell you what's going to happen in the budget. A month ago, it looked okay. Every day, it looks bad. It's up and down. We're talking about $3 billion cut, $2 billion cut, $1 billion cut. All I know is that human services, social services have been cut. All right? Enough. Uncle, we're done. And you need to pass that message along, because you've been cut across the board for the last 3 or 4 years now, and you need to say enough. And make us make some difficult decisions. That's all we have is difficult decisions. But we need to look somewhere else. I apologize I have to leave. My General Secretary, Angelo Scotia, will take all my notes. If you have any concerns or questions, please pass them on to Angelo. He will pass them over to me. But I want to thank you all for this breakfast, and thank you for this morning, and thank you very much.